This week, we're back on the road in Morgantown, West Virginia. From Muriel's in Fairmont to the Varsity Club in Crockett's, Mountaineer fans are fired up. Catch this guy tailgating and eating wings in the blue lot or making friends in the green lot. He's a man of the people. West Virginia AD Wren Baker.
One Star Recruits is brought to you by 500level.com. For all the best t-shirts in sports, they have all the Mountaineer greats: Javon Carter, Miles McBride, Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith. Go WVU! Use the discount code DK and RIP for 20% off everything at checkout. That's DKANDRIP, 500level.com. Let's go!
This is Wren Baker, Athletic Director at West Virginia University, and I'm on with the One Star Recruits.
Yo, aloha, welcome to the show. Checking in right off of the bat, 183.7 pounds if you're keeping track at home. That's up almost 2 pounds. Not great. I had a couple diet breakdowns last week. I'll save it for one-star moments of this thing, Rip, but not great to gain weight during a weight loss challenge.
Yeah, too many dino nuggets, I think, in your house. Too many pies. What's going on over there?
I'm to save it for the back end. I just got to, it's very important. I'm letting listeners know my most interaction going right now with our fans on Instagram and YouTube, and my text messages are blowing up too. People are holding me accountable. That's what happens when you're trying to get down to 178. I had a breakdown. People have it. Anyway, West Virginia, stand up. Always fun learning about the new stuff and creative ways these ADs, athletic directors, are putting together events in their communities to do cool stuff. Not our first rodeo, Rip, with athletic directors now, for sure. Had a really great run. If you want to listen back, listeners, first time on this show, you can hear back. We did about 7 in the SEC, got out to Texas Tech. We're moving around, little Iowa State action. You can hear what some of these other schools are doing. The funny thing is common struggles, common wins, kind of a lot of, what do you think, Rip? A lot of best practice sharing going down for sure. A lot of people in the same boat.
Yeah, the new age of college athletics, NIL, raising revenue. I mean, it's what it's all about. It's kind of like a sales job. It's probably half sales job these days, but it's a good time of year for these ADs. I know West Virginia's got bounced from the NCAA playoffs for baseball, but these ADs have a little bit of time on their hands in the spring when football is not going on. So in between that time where the NCAA tournament stops and football season starts, it's a good time to get these guys on, and the fan base are always interested. I think the most interesting part of this interview for me, Wren Baker basically pleaded. He said it's an existential crisis for the stadium to be renovated. That kind of hit home a little bit, and I think a lot of Mountaineer fans will agree with that one.
Yeah. I had a couple ideas off the bat. I don't know if you got a couple here either. I want to share them with you too, because we can get the idea train going. It's all about starting with an idea, and then you need some big fundraising. These are big old projects. Really quick though, Rip, before we get there, I got to give us some love. We look back on this podcast. It's been 4 years now. It's a long time. I got some great pictures coming up on my iPhone from 24. It looked very young. No gray in my goatee. How's your goatee going, by the way?
As you can see, I shaved it off. I try to grow it like once every year or two, and quickly realized that it's a mistake, a terrible mistake, and immediately shave it. So
yeah, I noticed it. I didn't want to call everybody out. People were expecting big things from 2 episodes ago when this was a big deal for you. You thought you were looking better. Maybe you were coming into a silver fox age. You thought you were feeling that energy. It was hideous. You look much better, if I do say so, Rip. But it's gone. For myself, though, looking back, fun episodes we did, but a lot of West Virginia guys, believe it or not, even to my surprise. Javon Carter, friend of the show, current Chicago Bulls. Great dude. Wonderful Phoenix Sun. God, what a sad time. That was that 2022 season, Rip. That was that Dallas season. That was so tough. I don't even want to talk about it, but great guy. Best of luck. Javon, really fun. He found a good role with the Chicago Bulls, I think, Rip. Johnny West, another friend of the pod, son of Jerry West, Mountaineer legend. I met Johnny West when we were both at the Golden State Warriors, the minor league team. Do you remember any conversation I had in those moments, Rip? Was I calling you saying you're not going to believe it? I'm hanging out with Johnny West?
No, I think back then it was I'm hanging out with Michael Thompson, brother of Klay Thompson. That was your big
Facts.
celebrity back then in Santa Cruz.
Well, that was big time too. Part of the Splash Brothers 2.0. Yeah, we had Seth Curry, and Michael Thompson both on that team. But Johnny put together a lot of that team. I met him in Santa Cruz when I believe it was one of his early basketball jobs that he took when Jerry was in the ownership group and kind of the GM, president of basketball ops, I think is what they called that. It was once Jerry was doing his Memphis, LA Clippers, and he came up to Golden State to work some of his magic. It was so funny though, Rip. That office situation was literally an old Kinko's in a refurbished a little bit, and then in walks Johnny West one day out of nowhere. He ended up going and getting a pizza slice, Pizza My Heart. Me and PR guy, Matt Dineshner, a great guy, ended up taking Johnny West out to Pizza My Heart. Learned his whole story. Talked a lot of West Virginia. Crazy situation. He's now married to Michelle Wee. Congratulations. Still a great friend. He was super kind to me, Rip, during the Lahaina fires. Very, very kind dude, but also on the podcast. So we had him, and then that led to, funny enough, it actually all ties together a little bit. I'm rambling a bit, Rip, but this is kind of a good West Virginia story. We're sitting in the draft room with the Santa Cruz Warriors, with Johnny West in the room, and which was a crazy experience for a guy like me. I did not belong in draft rooms, but put it on the bucket list things dudes love to be on or want to be on. But we're hanging, doing that. Santa Cruz Warriors team store and draft room combination. Fans could walk in, Rip, and buy a t-shirt while we're drafting players. Another West Virginia guy comes into my life, Joe Alexander. Great dude. Also came on our podcast. So if you want to look back, we've had some guys. It's pretty cool, huh? It's pretty cool. West Virginia ties exist.
A lot of great history under Bob Huggins back there. Joe Alexander, 8th pick in the NBA draft his year. Johnny West, now current director of basketball operations in Golden State, DK. So a lot of successful West Virginians out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, guy's been there for almost 12 years now, Golden State Warriors. Great career, great basketball mind. Look, here's the deal, though. Make this guy some homemade Pioneer bars. Pick up your football and basketball season tickets. Enjoy this interview with Wren Baker.
Now joining the One Star Recruits podcast, we have a husband, a father, a 20-game winner as head men's basketball coach at Rogers State University in 2008, and the current vice president and director of athletics at West Virginia University. Wren Baker is on with the One Star Recruits. Thanks for hopping on, Wren.
Absolutely. Thanks for you guys having me.
I have a question here. I'm out in Los Angeles. Word on the street is that the Lakers are looking for a head coach. Do you want to throw your name in the ring there? What kind of offense did you run back in Claremore at Rogers State?
20-game winner.
We were a 3-out, 2-in motion team for the most part. But we had a really good start. But I always tell people I knew I was a better AD because I went 20-11 in our first year, and everybody thought that was good. And then I fired myself and promoted my assistant, and he had basically the same team. He went 30-2 with him the next year. So I figured out that I was a better administrator than a better coach. But certainly having coach, I remember I was sitting with Joe Castiglione, the AD at Oklahoma. And he's a great mentor and friend. And he said, you will never, and that's why I was doing both. I was really young, 27 years old. He said, you won't appreciate right now, but later you will, as an administrator, how much coaching this period of time helped you. And I really didn't understand what he was talking about. But since then, I do. I think I have been able to understand coaches and understand some of the nuance of managing and working with coaches. It's certainly that experience has been helpful throughout my career, and I really enjoyed it. And there's times when I miss it, but I've never thought about going back. Even though when I hired Coach DeVries, he asked me if I would be sneaking into his office writing plays on the board, and I said if I was good enough to coach, I'd be coaching. You guys make a lot more than athletic director. That's my coaching story.
That's the story. For fans and listeners, even in West Virginia, where is Rogers? Where is Claremore?
Yeah, so Claremore, Oklahoma is about 20, 25 minutes northeast of Tulsa. So they're in northeast Oklahoma, kind of Tulsa metropolitan area. It was an old military academy. So it was Oklahoma Military Academy. And then it had been a junior college like Rogers State College. John Starks actually went to school there for a year, the former Nick.
Wow.
But really a beautiful campus. it was a great opportunity for me. I thought I'd left college athletics. I was working at Oklahoma State, and I was getting married to Heather, and had a chance to go back home and go into the public schools as a principal. So I was 26-year-old principal, and I thought I'd left athletics. And I got a chance to get back in. The president there at Roger State was starting athletics, and he called and said, "I want a young up and coming AD, and I want one that can coach basketball because I don't have a lot of money. I'm not going to pay two guys." And so that I don't know how many people he talked to, but somehow I got that job. And it was a great opportunity just to break into the profession. I always tell people we made a lot of mistakes, but nobody knew because it was brand new. There's no expectations, and so I got to learn and grow on the job, and it was one of the more enjoyable experiences of my life.
So that makes a lot more sense because your programs, the way that you go about your business, you flow, makes sense. You've been molding things, you've been malleable your whole career, just kind of adjusting. You've done it really well with your basketball program recently. I mean, Rip talked about the Lakers. We know Coach DeVries ain't going anywhere. You locked him up in March. Perfect hiring, perfect Wren hiring. We think here at the One Stars. Drake, tons of success. Over the last 3 months, you've had him in the building. What have you learned?
Yeah, he's an extremely hard worker. He's a very honest and candid and genuine person, and he's very thoughtful just in the way he builds and puts things together. And there's not a lot of just over the top salesman to him. Like he is a good recruiter. He knows how to get that done, but he's just a plain talker, like what you'd expect from a lifetime Midwestern guy. And what blew me away at his profile. So over the years, I believe I'm up to 23 or 24 searches overall in different sports. And so like I'm pretty OCD about compiling the data. I've got all these spreadsheets upon spreadsheets and facts and stats, and especially basketball because it's my sport. I know all of the analytics and have looked at them, but I have a column for previous institutions, and there's just three spots in there. And so normally just when you get beyond three, I don't put anything in there. He's the first candidate ever that didn't fill three up. He's only been at two places ever. He was at Creighton as a GA, then an assistant coach forever, and then Drake. And so when you just look at that profile, like it's such an industry where everybody, and you have to, I've moved a lot to get opportunities. But I just think it shows a lot about who he is as a person. We're his third institution to work at, even though he's been doing this for well over 2 decades. And so we're really blessed to have him, excited to have him. My only complaint is he stopped with one son. He should have had two or three so he could have two or three transfer in here with him because Tucker's a great player to have coming with him. So we're excited.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited too. When you hear those two schools, Creighton and Drake, you think tournament. And that's what hoops is about at the college level, NCAA tournament. So we'll see West Virginia there, I'm sure. I want to switch over to football for a sec. Neil Brown had his best year at West Virginia last season, winning 9 games. Momentum is huge. Everything in sports. We're seeing it right now in the NHL finals and the NBA finals. We're 80 days away, Wren, from Penn State coming to Morgantown. I'm fired up. Rip's fired up about you guys coming out to Tucson. It's my mom's hometown. I might come out, have a Sonoran hot dog, and watch West Virginia take on the Wildcats. Where should the fans be most excited about this crazy new schedule?
Well, I think I don't know if the fans necessarily realize this, but just the addition of those 4 teams did such was so huge in cementing the Big 12. I mean, it seems like forever ago. It was only 2 or 3 years ago where the Big 12 looked like it was on the verge of collapse. And as a lifelong fan of college athletics, I certainly hate the demise of the Pac-12. But I'm thrilled that the Big 12 picked up 4 great brands in 4 really good, strong markets, and they're brands that command those markets, right? And I won't disparage any other teams, but sometimes you pick up a team in a big market and they don't really bring that market. But those 4 teams bring the markets that they're in, and I love. I love Tucson. I went with our baseball team. We just got back from that regional, and we were fortunate to win it. But I went and was there and enjoyed it. Just such great culture there, great food, great tradition. And I always feel like that's a community where family values is very high, so we really enjoy that there. But we're excited to have those in terms of our schedule and our fans. Um, Game days in Morgantown are so special. Like, and they told me this when they interviewed me, but you can't really understand it till you get here. There's only one Power Five team in the state. There are no pro teams. So I always say there's 1.8 million West Virginians, and there's 1.6 million hanging on every possession of every
Love
team.
that.
And so when the Mountaineers play here in the state, like it's a big, big thing, and it's like being growing up in Oklahoma and having lived in Texas before I came here, we are the state's Dallas Cowboys. And so when Penn State rolls in here, that game will be huge. We've got the backyard brawl on the schedule again. It's at Pitt, but we'll have a bunch of fans there. That one is a huge one. But I think our fans are just excited to get to see our team continue our growth and trajectory. I mean, we've got a team this year with a lot of returners, especially offensively, and we have an opportunity to be special.
Going to be special. Football fans are fired up. It's going to be special. Football wise too, the new thing, and we talked similar in Arkansas, only show in town, doing good stuff. The question keeps coming up as we kind of do this AD tour a little bit about stadium upgrades. It's that time. It's 2024. People are looking for new experiences. In particular, Suites comes up because they're driving revenue. All of a sudden in college sports, revenue is a big name, a big thing that continues to come up, which didn't come up, I think, as much in the past. I don't know. You could tell me too. What's happening at the stadium as far as upgrades? How are we doing to keep up with the times?
Yeah, we've done some low hanging fruit that we've been able to, where we've added in, some four tops, or we create a club in the end zone last year. But we have architects on campus now studying our facilities. With a particular eye on Milan Puskar Stadium. So I mentioned the depth of the passion of our fans, and I think it's our biggest strength here. But if you look at the Coliseum and Milan Puskar Stadium, neither of those have much in the way of premium seating, clubs, loges, suites, and so we've got to change that. Our press box side of our stadium is old and antiquated and looks old and antiquated. And so that's something that's at or near the top of our list. We've done a lot of facility work here, but we haven't done anything at those two venues in a long, long time. And if you look at our budget, college athletics budgets tend to uptick annually at a pretty significant pace. Ours has been pretty level for, 7-8 years here. And that's because we haven't brought any new premium seating online. So when I talk to our board and I talk to our donors, I call it our existential crisis. As we move into this new era of college athletics and rev share with student athletes and those types of things, we will not be able to compete at a high level if we don't invest in our facilities in a meaningful way to create those opportunities. And so that's at or near the top of our priority list. And I think later this fall, you'll see us put out some information on it.
You're putting out quality products on the field, on the court. The kids of West Virginia who are graduating, Wren, are terrific human beings who we met on this podcast. Guys like Joe Alexander, Johnny West. So just terrific human beings at the end of the day. Congratulations, man. Lots is changing. You have a very hard job. Name, image, likeness, working around it. The concepts are still forming of how they work for everybody in a way that's successful. We're still figuring it out here. So I give you a big round of applause. I know it's very difficult. I don't know if there's anything in particular you're doing to look at fundraising differently, but if you could speak to the fan base, if you could speak to the world about West Virginia athletics in terms of name, image, likeness, what would you say to them?
Well, our fans have done a good job of really getting on board and supporting NIL opportunities, and we don't have the biggest NIL budget, we don't have to. I think West Virginia is part of our DNA to outpunch our weight class and to do more with less. But we're going to need to continue to grow that and be competitive in that space. And certainly as we go into the rev share, if the court settlement is ultimately approved, and a lot of people think that's done, that's nowhere near done. All you have right now is two sides who have said we will settle, but you got a lot of people who have to sign off on that and details to be worked out. But that's critical. When you ask the outside world, what do you know about West Virginia? I think WVU and particularly our athletic programs is probably at the top of that list. And not too far behind that, people are going to start talking about coal and that kind of stuff. And I didn't know much about West Virginia when I took this job. And the search firm called me and they said, "Hey, would you like to be involved at West Virginia?" I said, "Well, I'd like to learn more about West Virginia because I don't know anything." And so I took this job without ever having been to Morgantown. I think I'd been to Huntington once because they were in our conference at North Texas. Um, and it is an absolute beautiful state with some of the best, greatest people you'll ever meet. So much to offer in the way of tourism, natural resources, workforce, energy production. And so when you look at being able to brand those opportunities and make the world aware of them, our athletic programs, particularly our revenue sports, are the number one way to do it. So I tell people all the time, it's not just important for the athletic department. It's not just important for the university. We are a key to building the brand and promoting the opportunities in this state. And that's what comes with being here. And so we have no choice but to compete in this new world of college athletics. And so I tell donors and people of this state all the time, politicians, board members, anybody that'll listen, for the future of the health of the state, it's really important that we're competitive in this new world of college athletics, and NIL opportunities is part of that. And we have to continue to grow. We're on a journey of growth, but that has to continue every year. It has to grow because that in this modern world, like that's part of, we have not made our program just about what we can give you money wise. We still believe that we need to recruit and develop and refine people, and we need to teach character. I'm a big believer that people talk about the process all the time. Well, what drives your process, which to me is how hard you work at something, is your character. And so if you're teaching character to people, ultimately they're going to work really hard and they're going to be about the right things. And that's going to lead them to be successful on the field and court, but in life. So we're about all those things, but it would be foolish to not understand that NIL opportunity is part of that. I was a kid once, and that would have been part of my decision matrix. And so we have grown that, but we need to continue to do that.
Preach. They got the right leader in you, Wren. Preach on.
Ren, we end every interview with the segment we call 1 star to 5 star. Everybody knows we're the 1 stars, but we're trying to get better with advice and tips from every guest we have on this podcast, like yourself. So just a fun little segment here. I want to ask you a few more that run the gamut on a 1 to 5 star scale.
That sounds good.
Yeah, let's go. This is gonna be some fun ones here. You're a girl dad, a father of 2 daughters. Many of our listeners are parents of young children, so we love talking parenting and kind of lessons learned through raising kids because there's so many of them. In fact, one of our colleagues, Onik from the Shooting 2 podcast, he's currently sleeping on a cot at the Alta Bates Medical Center in Berkeley, California. His wife had twins last week. So just a congratulations to him. But what would you say is a 5 star parenting tip that you would give from your years as a dad that can maybe help out some of those young parents out there?
To be present. And present doesn't mean that you can physically be there all the time. I have to travel a lot. I've been gone for the better part of 6 weeks here. And so my kids, I try to make sure that they understand, and I take them sometimes play. Early in my career, I wanted to separate work life and home life because I felt like home life was my safe place. But I was gone so much, I really figured out like my family needs to see this other side of my life. It wasn't really fair to block them out of it. But I think what I've learned is I can't control when I'm out of town or when I have to be at a game late. But what I can control is when I'm with them, being physically and mentally and emotionally present with them. So I don't answer my phone much at home. I've gotten to where if it's not my president or my board member or one or two key donors, I'll just text them and say, "Can I call you tomorrow?" Because I think the hardest thing when you're a parent for your kids is if you're not around a lot, when you are there, you're distracted. And so when I'm with them, I'm locked in with them. And so I think that's probably my biggest advice to parents is, life comes fast. You got a lot, but with technology and access today, there are times when you can be physically present and not mentally and emotionally present. And I think for kids, that's the hardest part. They can deal with the not being physically there sometimes if when you are there, they have your full attention. And that's probably where I've grown and advice that I would give.
I love that. That's great perspective. Sometimes that do not disturb function is key for being at home. You talked about it a little bit. You were the youngest school principal in the history of the state of Oklahoma when you took the reins at Valiant High School. I think you said 26 years old. It's not a big school, but it was a huge responsibility back then, especially for someone in their 20s. I'm sure you were a five-star principal, but this is the one star. So I want to know a one-star moment you had in that role that you can look back now and kind of laugh at, just the inexperience, and what's something that you wish you could have done again.
I don't know that I can remember just one key moment. I think I was so it was in my hometown, and so like a lot of the teachers and people taught me. A lot of the kids, their parents I went to school with, and even if they were a few years ahead of me, like it's a school, as you mentioned, 50, 60 kids a grade. So it's a town of 900. I knew everybody.
Ren, it sounds like a Netflix show. My
Yes,
wife would watch real fast. It sounds exactly like a Netflix show.
And so I think because I was a little bit intimidating, I felt like people saw me as a kid and not as a leader, that I went out of my way to prove that I was the leader. Looking back, there were times where I should have just been relaxed and just been myself and not been worried about trying to prove to the world that I belonged in that job or belonged there or deserved to be there. But I'm thankful that happened that way, because fast forward, I had a lot of other opportunities at a young age, and I grew so much. It was the most intimidating experience I'd ever been in, to go back home in my hometown and be a principal. And so like I grew so very much in that year from that time. And hopefully I did some things right too. But as I look back and dissect it, there were times that year where I probably was acting like I had something to prove and was trying to prove something, when really I should have just been comfortable and confident and tried to lead by example.
Did you make any cafeteria decisions? At 26, I feel like I would have been making some cafeteria decisions.
I didn't necessarily make any, but I will tell you there was a dessert that I loved as a kid. It was called Pioneer Bars, and it was a peanut butter, like just bar with chocolate on the top. And so when you were a kid, you only get one dessert. And I've always been kind of a chunky kid, and so I always wanted more and couldn't get more. But as a principal, I could talk to ladies in the cafeteria giving me 3 to 4 in, and invariably, it's been several years, so most of them have turned over. But after I left there and went to Rogers State, invariably I would get a boxed up package, and it would have a bunch of those desserts in it. So that tells you I left an impression in the
There we go. That was the signing bonus. The signing bonus, 5 Pioneer Bars. You're in.
Yes.
We probably don't even exist anymore with all the peanut allergies out there. Definitely not in public schools, but we'll try to find a box and ship them to your office there.
No question. Those things are really good.
Last one here. DK mentioned that really does sound like a Netflix show. But speaking of TV, Pat Sajak just retired from a legendary 40-year run as the host of Wheel of Fortune. What's a game show that you've always watched and kind of thought that you might be able to give a 5-star performance on? What's the Wren Baker TV specialty?
It's like a Price is Right guy.
Yeah, probably the one that I watched the most growing up would have been Jeopardy or Price is Right. My grandparents watched Jeopardy every afternoon, but I don't know that I'd be that great at Jeopardy. I think Family Feud I would have been great at. I usually know the answer of what the survey says, and I think I'm pretty good with one-liners. So I would have delivered some good comedy relief on that show. So that's probably the one where I would have thrived the most.
I can see that. I feel like a lot of Oklahoma families somehow come out on top on Family Feud, so that might actually work. Thank you so much. Everyone go follow Wren at Wren Baker on Twitter. Anything you want to know about West Virginia athletics can be found on WVUsports.com. Wren, it's so cool to see someone climb the ladder where their passion lies and also do really, really well at it. WVU fans are grateful for you, and we appreciate you being candid and down to earth on here. Thank you so much for coming on with the One Star Recruits.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
We know one thing for sure. Stadium upgrades, this concept of suites, luxury or just suites in general, are the same battle every campus we've been on. Every AD we've talked to are currently having the same damn problem. People don't want the Best Western experience anymore, Rip. They want that Embassy Suites experience. 2 rooms, baby. A sitting room, a mini kitchen, mini fridge, 2 eggs to order. These fresh to order breakfast, 2 eggs comes with your rate. You want the whole damn experience, Rip. Nowadays, nobody just wants a singular Best Western room. Do it yourself. You know, am I right? Luxurize that experience. You got any good ideas? You got any good ideas to help the fan base engage a little bit more? I know there's lots of cool shit going on, but everything is so damn expensive. What's some good ideas you've seen, Rip, to help the maybe some new seating upgrades?
I'm a 1-star, so I have one good idea in me for every question that anyone ever asks. There's always one good idea. And for West Virginia's Milan Pushkar Stadium, and everybody knows it's in dire need of renovations and revenue generators. My idea is kind of an old ode to the coal miners, the coal mining tradition in West Virginia. If you know coal mines, they go 500 feet underground, 1,000 feet underground sometimes. It's not going to be that, but it is going to be a mini coal mine built inside of a suite, kind of a man cave. It'll be fully dark in there, but you'll have TVs, you'll have waiter service. It's still in the stadium, so during big plays, you can pop your head out and cheer and look at the game. But basically, it's going to be a little suite shaped as a coal mine for 8 to 10 people to enjoy the game in kind of a man cave, but inside the stadium. What do you think?
Okay. Not bad. Not really great. Probably not easy for all human body types to really activate in that. But I even picture maybe a little coal mine cart that takes you down to a special luxury dining area with a buffet. But you go down like you're going into a coal mine.
Exactly, and you pay homage to the long tradition of coal mining in the state. That's one of the things West Virginia is known for. So tie it in with the locals. That's what it's all about.
A lot of people thinking, yeah, new fancy things that you see right in front of your eyes, upgraded screens, new fancy suites. Maybe underground really is the solution. Go underground. The weather stays nice. You don't have to worry about different, very, very cold. Don't have to worry about that anymore. We're underground. Like one of those underground swimming pools when you look up and you can see people swimming while you're eating your club sandwich. Not bad, Rip. Not bad.
I like that. That's my one good idea. I can tell you're on board. What do you got?
I don't have any fresh new ones. Some of these, though, are scoffable, laughable ideas, but the concepts still work a little bit. The Arizona Cardinals are doing these new casitas, or what they're calling it for people not in Arizona from the Southwest. Those are what we call in Hawaii Ohanas. Those are what we call in the rest of the country ADUs. I don't know in Appalachia, probably sheds, really, to be honest. No disrespect, because, I mean, really what they are is secondary living spaces. So the Cardinals took this to the next level, this whole casita program, and made these 2 new sections that include private field level clubs. So you get 6 on-field seating experiences, all-inclusive food and beverage, preferred parking. It basically amounts to like a field level club venue with a small condominium apartment included in it. So you can hop in, wash your hands. You can pop over, take a look. They probably have some great Southwest art on the wall. Take a minute. It's really getting away from the football, Rip. If you see what's happening here, this is not a good thing.
It's kind of like glamping, where you go out to be in nature, but you end up in like a 5-star hotel room. It feels like. How much do those things cost?
It's a fake fan focusing on the wrong things. Vibe the Cardinals are doing, and I don't think it's going to work. Prices haven't been fully dropped yet, Rip. Everything's negotiable in this area. That's what people don't know about luxury suites. If you really want to negotiate, if you really want a concert you're seeing or something, ticket prices are ticket prices. Those are going to stay strong. You talk to somebody on that suites level a little bit. Start looking at if I get this. God, I'm so bad with concerts. Give me a couple concerts who would be doing suites, Rip. Give me a couple artists.
Morgan Wallen. We got Taylor Swift. We got Billy Ray Cyrus.
Give me this Morgan Wallen, and then you know what? If I take that Morgan Wallen, you give me a little discount and throw in maybe a Savannah Bananas baseball tour. throw it in, combo deal, little discount. They'll haggle with you a bit. Just know that. But I don't know the prices on them. It's gonna be in the red zone area. That red zone area is usually the most applicable area to be malleable, to be stretched around and changed. Those aren't great seats. End zone seats in football, behind the basket in basketball, never great. If you like, some people like to say they like to see the plays develop. That's bullshit. Is that true, Rip, or is that complete bullshit?
No, you just everyone wants center court. I mean, where there's no obstructed view. I mean, no one's lobbying to be under the basket. Come on.
Never. You had those areas. So those areas are changeable. The Clippers are doing not a bad job. I'm curious about it. You're in Long Beach, Rip, and I think you're getting a little fired up about Clippers and Ballmer Stadium. They release some food stuff that gets me excited every now and again. This wall, I don't know if listeners have heard about the wall before. It's a fan section behind the opposing team's basket at the Intuit Dome. So that's important. A lot of times these teams don't even think that stuff through. Important. The ultimate wall pass. So $1,300, $1,299, 41 home games. It's about $32 a game, I think, if you do the math. Winston, you do that math for me? $32.50, something like that. So you can check that out on the website, Rip. Are you interested? Are you a potential take your kids to season tickets at the wall? For wall pass? Do you need more information from me?
No, I'm gonna ignore your call every 24 hours when you keep following up. I'll probably go to 1 or 2 games, either when I have free tickets or when there's no school the next day and I can get $12 tickets on StubHub. Come on, man. I'm a 1-star.
It's fun. It's gonna be interactive. So they're doing the Southwest style seating for it. So the ultimate wall pass buyers will have seats assigned. So technically you have assigned, but they arrive at the arena depending on how early you show up. You can sit as close to row 3 in that section, Southwest style. Assigned seats will be available rows 3 through 50 or some shit like that. So some ideas. All in all, it's a great time coming out to games. West Virginia has a couple cool programs I think I saw in place, but nothing as interactive as the Coal Mining Lounge, Rip. 5 stars out of 5 stars. They got a 304 package going. They got a couple things flying around where you can get some season tickets. But it's all the hype. It's happening. Tailgates, bow down, respect. Nothing better. You want to go do a tailgate experience, college football, really the biggest college football program in your state, head out for the day. You're going to have that experience that you're looking for. In game college football experience, very different. You need money, I think, to have the nice shit. I think it's just how it is.
By the way, the most obvious thing to me, I can't believe this is even a question right now, is the name of the basketball arena in Morgantown is currently the WVU Coliseum. It sounds like they're leaving millions of dollars on the table, not having a bank or a coal mining company or somebody sponsor that thing. I mean, this has been going on for 30 years. Come on, West Virginia. If you
get in there,
if you want
Jerry West Stadium, just Jerry West. Just throw it on there.
If you want to generate some revenue immediately, you got to get a corporation to name that arena after them. This is like marketing 101 at this point.
The business with the 1 stars. You want more information on business with the 1 stars? Just go to 500level.com. Get your favorite shirt, DK and Rip. That's how business is done, Rip. That's how it's done. NBA finals are going. We're far from it. I'm in Hawaii. You're in California. It doesn't feel as close as some NBA finals have felt in the past because these teams don't mean a lot to either of us. What has happened to us is the NBA coaching carousel continues to go round and round. Stealing headlines from the NBA finals are the Los Angeles Lakers, of course. Geniuses in the PR world. Unbelievable timing to go ahead and steal all the flair. There was 15 days in between the damn Western Conference finals and the finals starting, which was terrible, by the way. The stupidest idea ever. What am I spending my nights on? 3 nights in a row with no basketball after 40? Just crazy. Anyway, Lakers doing a good job with Coach Hurley. I mean, Rip, go ahead and break down the series of events quickly with Coach Hurley. This, as much as anything, is a internet Shams versus Woj story. A little bit of East Coast versus West Coast. You have UConn and LA. Might as well be Boston and LA. Go ahead and break down what happened here a little bit and how this thing ended.
Well, it seemed like a done deal, but not with Dan Hurley, the UConn coach. It seemed like a done deal with top podcaster and ex-NBA player JJ Redick one day, and it said, Lakers are on the verge of hiring JJ Redick. I think Woj and Shams both reported that. So you're thinking, okay, they're going forward with that. 24 hours later, you see the headline that they're in talks with Dan Hurley and they've offered him a huge contract. I think that was on a Friday or a Thursday. Dan Hurley flew out to LA on Friday, met with the Lakers brass, and said, I'm going to sit on it, I'm going to sleep on it over the weekend. And then Monday, a couple days ago, he declined. It came out that it was a 5-year, $70 million offer, but he declined that contract to coach the Lakers, to go back to UConn and chase a three-peat. So now it's in a little limbo. Does JJ Redick is he still on the table? Is he turned off by them trying to pursue Hurley? Who knows where the Lakers are going with this?
Who else is in it now that it's going to get sloppy? Lakers are without a coach in this. Here's what's going to happen. For JJ Redick, just in the midst of living his best life, let's call it what it is. He's calling NBA games. He's calling the NBA finals. He's hosting the biggest podcast with the biggest stars, talking exactly how he wants to talk, when he wants to talk about basketball, which he calls himself a sicko, and he is a sicko, which might make him a good coach. I mean, who knows? But what that man is yelling from the rooftops in Dallas or wherever the hell he is calling games right now is real simple, Rip. Today's price ain't yesterday's price, bitch. You know what I mean? This is the Buss family. This isn't one of these billionaire owner families. This is a family biz. Darvin Ham headed back with his tail between his legs to Milwaukee last week. He took an assistant job with Doc, and he's out of he don't want the Heat. Rip, who the hell can come in here and coach this Lakers team is my question to you. Let's just call it what it is here and make LeBron the damn player coach. Draft his son, make a bad trade for Trae Young, and just do this for another year and let's end this circus. Clippers taking over.
We know that's what's going to happen is LeBron ends up being the coach, the GM, no matter who's hired. So the smart move would be to hire a no-name person that doesn't command a lot of money, maybe pay him $2-3 million a year, which is probably among the lowest in the NBA. But there's no pressure behind it. There's not a lot of guaranteed money. You can fire him 2 years later. They can be a scapegoat if it doesn't work out. Because like you said, we know LeBron's going to end up being the coach.
I don't think that ever works, Rip. But I think we're both on the same page. This isn't the way this roster is built with Los Angeles. It's not gonna end well. They're gonna do what the Phoenix Suns did. They're gonna overreact, do crazy things, get in a position, and then say we're in too deep to get out. Any ideas? Who else? Who would you throw out there for head coach? Who do you got in Rip's back pocket if you said, hey, Jeannie Buss, here's a couple cats to talk to?
Well, I'm just going, if you look back at the list of podcast guests we've had over the last 4 years, I'm looking at some coaches here. I'm looking at Los Angeles native, I think 18-year NBA veteran Andre Miller, who was formerly with the Grand Rapids Gold of the G League. Throw him in there. He's got more playing experience than JJ Redick. He's definitely got more coaching experience. So let's go with Andre Miller. Number 2, Jason Terry, longtime assistant coach with the Mavs, Atlanta Hawks, other NBA teams, G League coach. He's got a lot of experience. I think he played longer than Redick too. He was a guest on this podcast, big Seattle guy. And number 3, if you want to talk experience, let's go with Larry Brown, baby. 90-year-old Larry Brown, guest on this podcast.
You've been doing that for 3 years to Larry. I don't think Larry. Stop. You did. You literally did stop. I thought you were going to say Mad Dog Mark Madsen, and you went Larry Brown, of course, Rip.
Winston just fact-checked me. Larry Brown is only 83. He's a young 83. He's got more experience than anyone else. Took, I think, 11 NBA teams to the playoffs. Come on, get Larry Brown in Los Angeles.
It applies to our system. Damn, weekend at LeBron's, weekend at Bernie's on the bench there, just holding up Larry. They got Bryce James, just holding up Larry's arms and bringing him in for timeouts like weekend at Bernie's. Rip. It was a decent list. Decent list until you got to Larry Brown, but you've been doing that for years. You love Larry Brown. He's too old to coach, though. He's probably too old to drive at this point in time. Probably needs to go to the DMV and look at renewing that license and get a driver. No disrespect. 1 star. Moments of the week, Rip. Anything that was shitty. Any 1-star moment. We all have them. People don't talk about them. It's a double 1 star for me. I have 2. You want the first one?
Save one for next week, man. You can't give all your ammo in one episode.
Yeah, it came up. They're both just kind of life in Kalaheo Well, one isn't. Actually, both are. I'll blame both as being just a kind of like a kid who doesn't have access to stuff on both sides, and then we get access to stuff and things happen. Kimmy was out of town, so I went to the grocery store. I'm trying to lose some weight, do this exercise. I hit the cereal aisle at the Big Save and Hane Pepe, which I never do. I'm out of the game on the cereal aisle. You know how in the grocery store there's some you don't even ever go down, Rip. Which one don't you go down?
The healthy one.
Oh, you're in the cereal aisle. The healthy ones, so what? The beans, the canned section? Whatever. Okay, set you up for failure in that one. Never though. So I took a peruse though, because I knew I had the house to myself. Number one, I think I'm lactose intolerant. We figured that out over years of me complaining on 1 star moments of the week about things I put in my body and then my tummy hurting. Number two, I never get the full box. If I do get cereal, the once a year I get the variety pack, the small box variety pack, which is goated. Totally the best, one of the best items at the grocery store. I'm willing to stand on that hill. If you had to pick just one single item, that variety pack box, although the Cocoa Pebbles are trash, just a just a big winner. Anyway, I decided to go with a box of O's, Honey O's, OH''S. Oh my fucking god! Once you start doing cereal, I think they're like chips. You very hard to stop. I think they do the chemistry where they figure out once they hit your lips, it makes you want to do another one, and et cetera, et cetera. Full box though, Rip. Two nights. So I spread it over 2 nights, 3 large bowls per night. Just addictive. I'm out. I'm out on the cereal game for maybe another 2 years. I paid the price with my weight gain, and the next morning because I did the whole milk as well, the combo, the triple threat. But it's a 1 star moment. Full box of cereal, full regret, and I want to put it on blast because that's not the type of behavior you do when you're doing a weight loss challenge. It's the anti behavior. It's like I'm doing self sabotage.
Also, if you're lactose intolerant, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be drinking whole milk. You got to move over to the oat milk or something, man. You're killing your intestines inside there.
A series of foolish events when I make the right down the Big Save aisle in Hane Pepe. Big, terrible. That's where I led to my rice pudding from a couple weeks ago. Same result happened. It's been retired, as I say. Put it in the put it in the rafters. Cheesiest shit ever. Second one, real quick, 1 star moment. Um, Winston was roaming around the property as he does. Totally cool. Roam around, do your thing, bro, whatever. Dude came running back home. Happiest damn dog you ever seen in your entire life. Proud. A proud animal prancing. Doing the prance of proud animals coming back to the pack to show off his findings. Dude did a full backstroke and a neck slide. He did a full double backstroke and a rolling neck slide into a cow pie. He looked like a damn dipped donut. He looked like a damn cow pie dog dipped donut coming back to the fucking house, happy as ever. Motherfucker.
Was
He
that
got
an
hosed.
immediate bath or what?
Not even bath, hose down. He was pissed after that. Because the hose is cold and it's outside. It's like a double embarrassment in the animal kingdom. All the damn birds had to see him. The frogs had to see him. Everybody had to see him get his prized possession of the fucking 14-week cow pie. Probably a series of magical mushrooms growing under that thing on his damn clavicle. So congratulations, Winston. We appreciate your research. You're doing a good job, but your animal instincts are just very unacceptable in these situations. So he's been off perusing limits last couple of days. Has to stay close to the house.
Hey, living his best life. We like that. We like to see that.
What do you got?
We were over at a neighbor's house last week, and there's kind of a kid's birthday party function, and it was someone that lives on our street. So the kids have their video game system upstairs, and for some reason the TV wasn't coming on. So my other neighbor and I went up to try to fix it, and we thought we were the only ones up there. It's just us in a room, and then there's a couple bedrooms off to the side. So we're up there for like 5 minutes, 1 star electricians making zero progress with this kind of stuff. So like after 5 minutes, the neighbor that lives there, the woman, she walks out of the bedroom. We had no idea we thought we were alone up there. She walks out of the bedroom, and I kind of see her like do the nose rub a little bit like this, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, so I ignored her. She said hi, walked downstairs. So when I get home that night, I tell my wife, I said, hey, I think I told her the story. I said, I don't know what's going on in there, but I think she might like be on coke or something. She kind of did that nose rub. And so my wife's like, really? She's like, she believes me, but doesn't really think that's the case. So anyway, like 3 days later, I see the neighbor at the baseball field and she says, hey, she goes, I heard you think I'm on coke. And I was like, what?
Whoa, damn, that went quick.
My wife had a function like 2 days later with all the neighbors, and my wife thought it was a funny story because she knew she wasn't. So she told everybody about it that I think this
Not
woman's
a
on
funny
coke.
story. Not that stays at the house, wife.
Exactly. So yeah, my wife betrayed me, and yeah, it's out there that I thought my neighbor was on coke. She's not. She actually works in like drug rehab and helping addicts and all that. But yeah, just a very embarrassing 1-star moment. But hey, I was just relaying kind of what I saw and worried for her well-being. So I'm glad it's not true, but super embarrassing for me.
Damn neighborhood Karens over here, man. Getting everybody's business. Stay the hell out. She wants to sniff a 60 milligram perk at her damn house. Rip, get out of her business.
Hey, I'm just looking out for people, man.
What a neighborhood There you go, listeners. Don't invite Rip over because he's going to come back and talking to his wife about you. You eat your booger in the corner and Rip might have seen it. You're getting conversated about.
Put you on blast. 1-star moment of the week.
You're going to get put on damn blast, man. Recommendations. Let's recommend something good to the listeners. This is what we do on the flip side. 1-star moments, 1-star recs. Mine's quick and easy. I'm going to steal the mic here while I have it. Rotisserie chicken, the gift of the gods. The most universal, best single cooking tool that you can use. You can make 5,000 dishes with a damn rotisserie chicken, Rip. I don't think your kids are to age yet where they respect the rotisserie chicken, but it's coming. Teenage years is when you start to really understand the power of the rotisserie chicken. So add this one to your list, listeners, and Rip, you can put it back there in your mental for when your kids are down to experiment with the gift of the gods. Simply get your rotisserie chicken, take the breast if you like the breast meat, do the chicken pull. So you want to do pulled chicken. It's a nice presentation. Everybody likes a little pulled chicken. It's like pulled pork, but pulled chicken. Very, very easy. Make a grilled cheese. Add a little bit of tomato. So nice slice of tomato on there and grill it up. Do a full grilled cheese sandwich with rotisserie chicken, cheese, and a tomato. Get it done. You got a nice little protein blast in there. By the way, I want to stop saying little bit and a little as much on this podcast, Rip. So maybe I want to stop saying maybe two words. Self-awareness going on here in the middle of my recommendations. I need a buzz caller or something to stop saying those, but I feel like if I talk them into existence with you right now, I might cut back a little bit on it. Back to rotisserie chicken. It's a fun way to feed the family, get some protein. You can dip it in, put some bacon on it. Another option. You got a bacon, chicken, grilled cheese, ranch. You might as well be at Denny's.
You know what else is good on those sandwiches? Yellow mustard, DK. Yellow.
What
mustard.
An asshole! Get out of here. What's your rec?
I got a food one too. Actually, we talked with Wren about his favorite snack growing up in Oklahoma was those Pioneer bars, the peanut butter bars. I would die. I can't. I got the peanut allergy. That's why I brought it up in the interview. Everyone knows I got to go almond butter. But I found this awesome almond butter. It's at Target. I believe they have it at Walmart too. But the brand is called Good and Gather. I think it's the Target brand, maybe not, but it's a dark chocolate creamy almond butter, 16-ounce jar for $6.99. It's unbelievable. It'll change your life if you're allergic to peanuts. If you do it almond butter, dark chocolate almond butter and jam sandwich, you're going to be addicted. You're going to have one every day. So it's Good and Gather is the brand. It's dark chocolate almond butter, DK. Try it.
Dude, classy. You're so trashy. Acting classy. You saying jam now instead of jelly? That's your new thing, jam. Fancy.
I was gonna say jelly and then I caught myself, so I can go back to jelly if you want.
Damn, 1%er over here eating jam. I don't even know where to get jam. You got to know somebody to make
France.
it.
You got to go to France.
Yeah, this guy goes to France once. He's coming back with eating some damn jam. Okay, come eat some damn corn fructose with the rest of us. Rip, motherfucker, jam eater. Rips reacts. Hit the music. A week of the ages, one to remember for Christian McCaffrey. Signed a $38 million contract extension with the 49ers. Celebrated his 28th birthday. Great year, 28th all in the history of life, if you make it past 27, which is the celebrity death year, 28 is always a wonderful birthday. Was unveiled as the Madden 2025 cover athlete. Rip, what was the best week of your life?
I mean, just France was pretty good a couple weeks ago, but I mean, no one can not say their wedding week, right? I mean, the wedding week was awesome. It's you see all your family and friends, you get married to the woman of your dreams, still married. I mean, how could you go against that?
The recency bias on the France trip, majorly. How about the road trip we once took from Washington, D.C. back to California, Rip? Maybe the best week of your life.
I give it top 20. I mean, I drove like 70 hours in like 3 days, so I don't think anyone's ranking that in the top 3. But top 20, yeah.
Winston just told me I said maybe 3 times after I said I'm going to stop saying it in just 2 minutes. Unbelievable. Rip, next month, Scott Hansen will trade NFL Red Zone for Gold Zone. This is not a joke. Listeners, this one is not a joke. A whip around show during the Paris Olympics is taking place. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how great of an idea is this? Where has this been all of my Olympic life? Rip, you buying the Gold Zone?
If it's live, it's a 5, but unfortunately, France is 9 hours ahead of the West Coast. If it's live, who's going to be up in the middle of the night? That's the problem. It's all going to be next day stuff. I mean, I can't get on board with these Olympics that are overseas. It never works.
You're poking holes in the time frame. It's not live. They just feed you the best events out. That is problematic, Rip. Way to poke holes in that one, Gold Zone. Problematic already. Follow-up Olympic question, Rip. Follow-up Olympic question. The mayor of France has committed to swimming in the Seine River on the 23rd. She then changed the date to the 30th. A huge response from Parisians that on the 30th, they're going to wake up that morning and shit in the river. Rip, if people do this, do you think that she will commit with swimming the river? Macron has said that he will swim it too, Rip. Do you think the shit will win or the politicians will win?
2-part answer. First part, it's definitely not Seine River. It's either Seine or Seine. I just got back from France. I got to correct you on that. Number 2, it's a massive river. It goes through the entire city and deep into the country. So yeah, they gotta honor that, man. They don't have to go in the part where people shit at. I mean, unless there's a million people shitting at the same time.
This is a bigger operation. There's a website, Rip, right now showing people outside of Paris in different French towns the time that they could appropriately, the time window for them to shit so that their log would arrive at the right time of the swimming.
I hope they don't go through with that. That's gonna ruin that river for years and years. A lot of people go in that river, man.
I know it's coming. No, a lot of people don't go in that river. It's one of the dirtiest in the world. YouTube. I could be wrong, Winston.
So a lot of people go in it on boats, but yeah, it's not a swimming river. That's for sure.
Correct. I think it's very, very gross, and I don't know.
It can't be good for the ecosystem.
Yes, not good for the ecosystem. The whole reason that it's happening is because they want to host a couple swimming events in the river, and people are saying that it's unsanitary, and they're closing off parts of areas. And the bottom line is Parisians love to protest is what's this is coming down to for me with the Olympics. Lots of problems for seeing. Rip saw a big problem with bathrooms coming up. Lots of talk right now of the Olympic Village being a complete mess, but I think this happens every single year. I'm thinking positive thoughts, and I'm going to buy Gold Zone to support the Olympics. Just made the decision. I'm buying Gold Zone. 34,000 fans entered Eisenhower Park on Long Island to watch the highly anticipated India versus Pakistan match in the International Cricket Council's T20 World Cup. Rip, tickets were going for as much as $2,400. That's 800 Three Musketeer bars. Rip, how much are you paying max for a cricket event?
Man, I mean, people are passionate about cricket, that's for sure. Just like people are passionate about over here about the NHL or the NFL. For me, the passion is not there for a cricket match. I'd pay $8 to take my kids, $8 a ticket. So apparently I'm not getting in.
I knew you were going to say something disrespectful along that lines. I knew it was coming, man. It was definitely coming. Breakfast fun facts while we're here and we're talking cricket. Number 1 breakfast food in India, Rip. Idili. It's a delicacy, soft and fluffy steamed rice cake, served over with a chutney, sambar, and a lentil stew. Big savory breakfast people in the rest of the world. You're eating dino nuggets over here for breakfast. I got pictures of it. Final fun fact. Just learned this today. from our friend Anik of the Shooting 2 podcast. I'm going to break a lot of hearts here. This is a spoiler alert. If you happen to love dipping sauces, but you love the mystery too of not knowing what they are, you don't want to know, get out of the podcast. Go to 500level.com, find a t-shirt that you like, rip and DK, save 20%. Thank you for joining us. You can get out now because I learned Chick-fil-A sauce, the Chick-fil-A sauce, which you think's the best, Rip, right?
It's up there.
It's up there. You give it up there. 50% blend of honey mustard, 50% barbecue sauce. That's how you make it. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.